a barely visible planet. This far out in the solar system, even large objects like the hypothetical planet X hardly reflect any sunlight. Nevertheless, this fact does not mean that the existence of planet X cannot be proven. To date, hardly anyone has actually seen any of the 5,000 or so known exoplanets. Researchers calculate their existence on the basis of minimal variations of the stars they orbit, or perceive them as tiny dots. Again, it is the motion, or rather its effects on other celestial bodies, that clearly reveals a planet. Neptune's existence was also predicted in this way long before the actual planet finally became visible to ever-improving telescopes. Further calculations showed that a planet of this size would have to have a brightness of 25 magnitudes at its furthest point from the Sun. At its nearest point, it would still be 18 magnitudes. In comparison, Pluto, which is easily visible with modern telescopes, has a brightness of 15 magnitudes. 25 magnitudes should be within the range of the Hubble Space Telescope. The new James Webb Telescope should be able to see even better. Actually finding the 9th planet shouldn't be too much of a problem, except that researchers have to meticulously search an incredibly large area. The observation times of both space telescopes are booked up and tight for years in advance. New super telescope in Chile. All hopes of tracking down the mysterious planet X currently lie, with a brand new telescope expected to begin work next year. Tracking down exoplanets and the mysterious 9th planet of our solar system is at the top of the list for the brand new European Extremely Large Telescope. Known only as the ELT for short, the European Southern Observatory's facility is currently under construction in the Atacama Desert in Chile. With 5 giant mirrors, the ELT will once again set new standards in space observation. The telescope's largest mirror is 39 meters in diameter. Previous telescopes had a maximum of 10 meters. The facility's 3,200 megapixel camera is the size of an automobile, making it the largest camera ever pointed into space in human history. In addition to shedding light on the nature of nearby exoplanets, researchers hope this new telescope will also shed light on whether Planet 9 really exists and where exactly it's located. Do we have a black hole on our doorstep? Skeptics of the planet theory, meanwhile, paint a very different picture of the outermost edge of our solar system. They do not believe in the existence of a further planet. Rather, they assume that the orbital shifts of Uranus, Neptune, and the eccentric orbits of the trans-Neptunian objects are due to the existence of a primordial black hole. Primordial black holes, in theory, are those that formed directly in the process of the Big Bang and the cooling phase that immediately followed. They are among the oldest black holes, and compared to younger black holes, are less massive and less destructive. But admittedly, the suspicion that there is a black hole right on our cosmic doorstep seems less comforting than the presence of a 9th mystery planet. Nevertheless, it cannot be denied that the gravitational influences of a light black hole may be so similar to those of another planet that both theories must be considered until definitive evidence is available. Skeptics also argue that the existence of a planet of this size so far out in the solar system is very unlikely. As we know, the planets beyond the gas giants, Jupiter and Saturn, get smaller and smaller. How could a planet possibly 10 times larger than Earth have reached the edge of the solar system? A planet that came from the outside? For this question, scientists have found answers that still support the existence of the planet. Since we've been able to observe exoplanets, we know that our Milky Way contains a surprising number of rogue planets. These planets do not orbit a star. Instead, they either orbit the galactic center or float freely through interstellar space. Such rogue planets exist in all imaginable sizes. There are Earth-like vagabond planets, and even those the size of Jupiter or Saturn. Some of these planets have been shown to have smaller bodies or moons orbiting them. Sometimes, rogue planets pass near star systems and get gravitationally captured. It's even said that such free-roaming planets can pull other planets out of their star systems, especially when they pass very close and interact strongly with a planet due to their position and mass. There are currently 2 leading theories regarding Planet X's peculiar orbit. The planet could have once been a solitary, rogue planet that bound the trans-Neptunian objects to itself and then tugged at the orbits of Neptune and Uranus. Or it may have once been in the inner solar system and was catapulted out of its orbit by some unknown event. Since it didn't escape the sun's gravitational pull completely, it now moves along a long, looping orbit at the outer edge of the solar system. Only the future will tell which of these theories proves true. In any case, we can already be curious, because the final proof of the existence of the ninth planet may be imminent. Now, tell us what you think about this mysterious planet. Do you believe in its existence, or do you have a completely different explanation for the peculiarities at the edge of our solar system? We're looking forward to your opinions and your discussions on the topic. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time at Simply Space. Planet X or Planet 9? The last great mystery. Planet X or Planet 9 is a mysterious celestial body that is most likely located far out in our solar system. No one has seen it yet, but there is evidence of its existence that can no longer be denied. Today, we look at the latest evidence for the existence of Planet X and explore the question of when this ninth and most mysterious planet in the solar system will finally become visible. But first, we'd like to ask you to contribute to our channel. We look forward to your lively participation in the form of engaging, interesting, or even entertaining comments. If you are one of our subscribers, we will always thank you with a heart and will pin your important contribution to the top, where everyone will read it first. Just make sure you've already subscribed, liked the video, and mention both at the beginning of your comment. Planet X or Planet 9? The last great mystery. After the discovery of Pluto, many researchers thought that finally all the planets of the solar system were known. But then, mysterious trans-Neptunian objects and a whole series of dwarf planets appeared in the Kuiper Belt at the very edge of the solar system. These comparatively small and perhaps insignificant celestial bodies, however, are not the really interesting things that researchers have discovered in recent years. Rather, what is possibly the last great mystery of our solar system is a planet that is up to 10 times larger than Earth and completely turns everything known so far on its head. The rumors around a 10th, or now even 9th, planet in the solar system are already about 100 years old. When Pluto was still a real planet and the 9th in the solar system, the last of the big planets was called Planet X, or also Planet 9. Since Pluto lost its official planet status in 2006, Planet X would now be the 9th major planet in the system. Pluto's size and properties are far too similar to the many other dwarf planets that were discovered far out in the solar system after the turn of the millennium. Scientists had to decide between potentially adding dozens more mini-planets to the ranks of official planets or drawing a dividing line somewhere. They chose the latter, and Pluto ultimately didn't make it past that line, and is now officially a dwarf planet of low importance to the solar system. With Planet X, this looks completely different, because everything researchers know so far about this planet is that it's anything but small. If this planet really exists, it has at least 3 to 10 Earth masses. Evidence for the existence of Planet X. Already at the beginning of the 20th century, researchers observed anomalies in the movements of the planets Uranus and Neptune. For a long time, this was blamed on an interplay between the planets. But since 1989, when the Voyager probe examined Neptune in detail, we know that the cause of the slight orbital deviations of the planets must be due to something else. Since the discovery of the trans-Neptunian objects, there is increasing evidence for a large object very far from the Sun's 6 trans-Neptunian objects have orbits that are very different from the orbits of all other planets. It almost seems as if these objects form something like a system of their own, and this system must have a gravitational attraction point. This is supposed to be the mysterious Planet X. A few years ago, researchers searched through data from the infrared astronomical satellite IRAS, which was about 13 years old. The IRAS telescope was the first system that could image about 96% of the night sky without gaps. Among 250,000 light sources in the immediate vicinity of the solar system, researchers identified 3 conspicuous features. Light usually emanates only from stars, closer planets, cosmic nebulae, supernovas, and sometimes smaller bodies, such as asteroids and comets. These objects are often not easy for astronomers to distinguish at first glance. Only the motion of the light spots provides more precise information about the type of light source. Objects that remain almost static in one place are stars or nebulae, while fast-moving points can be a planet, or, in exceptional cases, a very large asteroid. This type of observation showed that one of the three anomalies within the IRIS system must clearly be a comparatively fast-moving point within the solar system. The scientists determined a calculated size of 3 to 5 Earth masses and a distance from the Sun equivalent to about 225 astronomical units, AU. 1 astronomical unit equals the average distance from the Earth to the Sun, 149,597,870.7 kilometers. So this object was quite far out in the solar system, much further than Neptune or even Pluto. Further studies of the strongly eccentric orbits of the already mentioned trans-Neptunian objects showed that the gravitational center of orbital distortion must be an object with about 10 Earth masses and a very eccentric orbit around the Sun. The closest position to the Sun was found to be 200 Australian dollars, and the farthest about 1,200 Australian dollars. All in all, such an object would have to orbit the Sun in about 20,000 years.